All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday and welcome to Mimosa Hotline. I am Ashley, your brand strategist, and my co-host is Ronnie, your business strategist. And every Thursday we come to you with hot topics, top of mind items, and things that we want to share with you both personally and professionally. And so we're at it again today. So join us live or on the replay. Please remember that comment section. We love to see you in the comments, both live and on the replay.
Yeah.
We're there to answer anything. We love your banter with us. Shout out to Kathleen, who just blew up last week's video. Thank you for that. Violetta was our special guest last week and our #1 follower. And today, while we were in the green room, we just wanted to kind of share an update with you of where we're at, reintroduce ourselves. It is a new year and it just felt like an appropriate time. So
Yeah.
Ronnie, as I do a little bit of tech stuff, do you want to just give everyone a quick introduction of who you are, what you do, how we started the Mimosa Hotline?
Yeah, sure. Well, and I'll go back to your comment about the comments too. We do get notified when those come up. So if people do comment in the replay, like we will see it because we get a notification for that. So yes, we can, if you have comments or questions, you can for sure put them in there because we'll get notified and be able to like answer them or, reply back. But sorry, now to get back to your original question.
Sure, I was going to say, we already have a viewer. Hello. That's why I was muting myself and looking, because I actually keep, just so you all know, I keep our live going so that I can see if there's anyone following or kind of real time, almost. It's delayed a little bit, but real time comments. So we're here for you.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm Ronii Bartles and I am a business strategist. And so I work with clients on their businesses and kind of pulling together their strategic plans and their strategic marketing plans, and then being able to like implement that going forward. So I work with a lot of different companies. Like I don't really have a specific niche like I tell people to do, which happens all the time. But I work with a lot of service-based business mostly, but I do have a few retail clients because we've talked about that on the show. Like retail is always fun to talk about because there are like these like marketing roles that really do apply to retail. So you kind of like see how it works with retail because it's easy, and then try and apply it to service-based businesses. And so yeah, I guess that's really it. I don't know. I
love it. You're like, that's it. That's all. No big deal.
No big deal.
Powerhouse of badassery. I love it. Something I was just playing with, and I'm curious before we dive into that too, is I just realized when I have it on speaker view here, it actually does speaker view on Facebook Live versus side by side. I don't know if we have a preference of that, but
see, on my end, I always have it side by side, so it doesn't really matter.
So
it doesn't change it for me.
Yeah. Okay, just kidding. I noticed that, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna put it side by side again.
And on the replay on YouTube, I always use the gallery view.
Okay.
I don't know. I always have
screw our tech up because I was like, ooh, look at that. And then but okay. So with marketing and everything, one of the things that I love about you is how you say that it's a science. Will you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, no, so I started my career in marketing research. So like graduated in 1999. By 2000, I was already with a marketing research company. And we did a lot of telephone interviews. And so, so that's why I like have this science math mind behind marketing, because I've done so much research and I know like how data drives good marketing. And so that's kind of why I look at marketing and go, marketing is really a science. The creative side is really advertising. And I kind of distinguish that into two different things. Like marketing like looks at the analytics, like how people are moving through your experience as far as like data points are concerned and numbers are concerned. But then the creative has to use that data to be creative to create campaigns. So I look at that more as the advertising side of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have to tell you, Evelyn, we see you. Hello, my dear. She is blowing up our feed with hearts. It's just heart. So hi, Evelyn.
Well, and I remember she is also one with the amazing She Shed.
Yes. Evelyn, we don't know if you know this, but we were actually talking about your studio out back the other day in one of the episodes. And I was saying,
I think it was last week.
Of your She Shed.
Yeah. Like that's her goal.
Yeah. Shout out to Evelyn Marsh. She is one of my clients. She is an incredible artist. She takes what I would call abstract art or geo art and takes that, prints it onto fabrics, and then creates all types of fun with it, meaning scarves, handbags, fashion, clothing, pretty much anything and everything I've seen her do. So shout out Evelyn Marsh Studio, evelynmarshstudio.com. She's fabulous. So she says, oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet. I love you so much. And yeah, she's like peekabooing with her art studio out back, but no, it's pretty epic, guys. Like, yeah, you should be jealous. And Evelyn, you should post more pictures about your studio, both messy and clean, because it's so cute out there. So anyways, that is our Evelyn. So yeah, with marketing, I think it's interesting because I like to say, maybe as a segue, marketing is the megaphone to branding. I find that many people think marketing and branding are the same thing. And maybe this is a perfect thing to explain that they are not. I like to think of them as two sides of the same coin. By the way, I see 3 of you. Hello. You should comment in the chat so we could either give you a shout out or know who's there, but hi everyone. So they're 2 sides of the same coin. I like to explain that branding is the identity, the DNA, the personality of a company, and marketing is the voice, the message, the distribution, the connection, the like outward focused elements of it. And yeah, there's a ton of different sub details of each side. You know, on the marketing side, you've got ads and social media and campaigns and market research and all of those things. And on the branding side, you know, we have, hi, Maddie. Hello. They're doing, it's so exciting. Okay, Maddie, shout out to Maddie before I dive into the branding thing. Maddie is an incredible hair and makeup artist based out of Portland, Oregon. Love her so much. She used to be in charge of the She-Hawk. Unfortunately, she had to give it up when it moved to Chicago. But if any of you ever need hair, makeup, or are going to a photo shoot, you can also hire her for photo shoot, events, weddings, anything. She's the only person to date that I would ever let touch my face because I'm very specific on my makeup. And her HD makeup looks like you're wearing a filter. It's the freakiest thing and the best thing you'll ever do. So shout out Maddie. Woo, just kidding. Maddie. I was trying to say Madeline Roosevelt and Maddie at the same time, and it came out Maddie. Sorry about that. But yeah. So, hey, Maddie, nice to have you here. Branding, back to this, is all, when I say the DNA, it's really the creative building blocks you design in order to represent your business in a visual manner. So yes, it's the logos, it's the business cards, it's the websites, but even below that, it's the colors, it's the fonts, it's the aesthetic, it's the zhuzh of the business, right? So they are both needed, but they're also kind of tandem at the same time.
It's hard to do my job if I don't have it.
Yeah. So explain them more. Like, it's hard to do marketing if you don't have the branding, right?
Right. Exactly. Because as a marketer, if you don't have your branding in order, one, I either have to hodgepodge it together and figure it out, or it goes all over the place and then customers don't get it.
Yeah.
Because they're so confused because everything's all over the place and they can't. So customers have to see things 20 times before they actually remember them now. So it used to be 7 times, but it's up to 20 times just because social media has made the world like so ADD, I guess you could say, just about, because we've just bombarded with so much stuff. So people have to see things 20 times before they actually can remember them. And branding's really where that can come really helpful, because your branding's so consistent across your business that's the key thing that makes people remember who you are.
And remember and associate. I want to add that word, like associate you with something. So like, it's one thing if they remember you, they could remember, you know, blonde girl with glasses, but you want them to associate you with your industry. So blonde girl with glasses that does branding, right? You know, or, I'm gonna shout out Evelyn. She always calls me her smart blonde. So the smart blonde that does branding, I'll take it. Like, I don't care how you remember me, but like, you remember me. It's great. Or, you know, the new one, Violetta was calling me her magic maker. Like, I don't care what you call me, but as long as you associate me back to branding and that I'm doing all of this for your business, that's great. So I love that. So to give a little bit of an explanation of myself and on the branding side, like Ronnie, I'm Ashley. I'm the brand strategist of this duo. And I really, let's see, how do I want to say this? I feel like I'm a brand strategist, designer, and director. I kind of wear all three hats. What's unique is that I have a boutique branding studio. I want to differentiate that from a branding agency, because when you hire an agency, you're hiring a set team of employees, and you can only really get their synergy. Versus as a studio, I create dream teams of vendors that are specialists designed for your project. And I want to have that differentiation for people to realize. But I also think that for me, I have a really unique freak factor of identifying the details that make either a person or a company iconic and memorable and relatable, as we were talking about. And for me, it's the difference of working with a crayon box that has 10 crayons in it versus working with a crayon box that has 100 crayons. There's just so much more versatility, variety, application that you can do when you're working with more. And I often like to say that I help brands when they've transitioned from an applied brand to an identified brand. Applied is maybe they got it quick, got it dirty, got it fast. And it's like that template, preset color palettes, and they just kind of applied it to their business, but now they're feeling tight in it and they want to expand and they can't. Where identified branding is really like pulling the DNA out of the company and giving you a full breadth, that 100 crayon box to be able to evolve as you need to. So for me, I hope that explains it a little bit better.
I mean, we basically worked on this week too.
Yeah. Well, and then I got myself caught up in it, and then I got spooked in my mind, and I was like, just keep going with it. It's fine. It'll but yeah. So,
and how many times have you given that talk this week?
Oh, so many more. And it was so much better on those. I'm like, I do this already. Anyways, but yeah. So how many times this week? Oh my God, tons. Actually, that's
no,
funny.
I know. That's why.
I got home from a networking event yesterday, and I think I said it at least 5 times.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah. I wish I could have started fresh with the whole like, hi everyone, my name is Ashley. I'm the founder of Iconic Details. I'm a brand strategist, designer, director. And we have our spiel, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice when we can just be chill and casual about it too.
Yeah, that's not what the show's about.
No, it wasn't. So meow, meow, meow. It was what it was meant to be. But also, let's see, anything else to say to that? Can I add one more piece, just because because we're allowed to? The other piece I really want to add that I do share in my 30-second speech or whatever is that I like to view myself as a creative general contractor. So as many people think of general contractors that have like carpenters and painters and interior designers that they contract into projects, I have that, but with photographers, graphic designers, website developers, artists and makeup artists like Maddie, or artists like Evelyn, and pull in those projects and collaborators based on each project. Does that make sense? So that's another thing that I've heard people say, feedback to me. Oh, that really makes sense of how you approach the work, that they feel like I'm more than just a brand strategist. They want me to say brand strategist and creative director because of that element of the synergistic collaboration of the 18. So anyways, that part. Okay. So glad I took that opportunity to botch it. Anywho,
that's great.
We've also been working on the Mimosa hotline, and I feel like it's a good time that, my part of wanting us to do this, Ronnie, is one, accountability for ourselves, but also I don't think that we're just talking. I think we're serious about it now. And I think it would be fun to kind of like give people a behind the scenes, let them see it unfold, let them be a part of it. And it's always fun when you feel like you're on the inside of things. And I'm like, I think we should tell them what we're up to. So because I have bloody notes, this will be a lot more concise, promise. Okay. So, full transparency, Ronnie and I have recently met with a podcast manager, and we're really excited about it because while the intention of this was to bring our personal conversations to the public and share what we usually talk about, because we both feel that we speak in a higher level caliber than maybe
you get when you're scrolling through your social media.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And in that effort, you know, the last year we put out 21 episodes or 20 episodes, 2021 anyway, 20 episodes, and we liked it. And we were like, you know, what if we took this to the next level? And like, what would that look like? And full transparency, I walked into a networking event and the woman walking in the door with me was the podcast manager. So like divine time. I was like, about you. We've been talking about being like universe. A talent manager, like maybe you're our person. So we actually have had a meeting with her and love her. She's putting proposals together, and we're all basically at the point of establishing the scope of work and what that all looks like. But we found a person that we really like. And the intention moving forward will be business and professional topics, but also personal and friend topics. We want to be raw, real, and unfiltered with you. We want to create kind of a new structure as well, where we're going to be having guest experts come in and just have these raw, real conversations with them, but also on topics people we think are relevant to you. We want to have our riffs that, you know, like either post an expert or just things that are top of mind for us. We want to riff with you. We're also going to do something new. We are rebranding, aka renaming. In the past, we were calling them hot seats. You know, we would invite you to come on and have a hot seat with us. And some of you did, and we loved it. But I felt, this was me, I felt the word hot seat kind of implied that we would pull you in and grill you. And we never do, and we never have, and we don't want to, but I just didn't like how it was like landing. And so we came up with a playful term called BYOB, because this is the Mimosa Hotline. And yes, we still haven't had mimosas, but we have other plans too of why BYOB is playful. So one, it stands for bring your own booze, but it also is going to stand for us, bring your own business. We want you to bring your business to this conversation so that we can offer our insight, because A, we love what we do. B, it's an opportunity for us to showcase the work that we do that's very hard for us because it's very intangible. And so when you offer up your business for us, we get to like do what we love, show you what we can do. You get incredible value for free, complimentary from it. And it also helps others, because how many times is it that you ask a question and 10 other people had that same question? So that's our goal for that. And then the final thing is, well, there's two final things. Next, because it's a hotline, Ronnie, do you want to tell them about the idea you had for the hotline part?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, this really came from, I do a ton of podcast interviews, and I had applied for another podcast, and she had something very similar where people actually like called in to a hotline and left a message. And in hers, it's kind of like a complaint department, or, you know, like get to the marketing department, and you kind of like, you know, do the topic you want to do. And you basically ask a question or bring a topic to the table that you kind of leave for us so that we can tackle it on the show, and really kind of dive into it and get to the topics that you want to get to, not just what we're dealing with, right? Like, because it's one thing we deal with probably very similar things to most people do, but we also, without you guys telling us, don't know what you're dealing with either. So it's
we're assuming, and we're kind of assuming you're doing what we're doing,
right?
You know, when we hear from you,
right? So it's, you know, basically a hotline for you to call into. That's you know, your emergency go-to line when you have a question or a topic that you need answered. And, you know, we'll take those topics and bring them to the table and like give you our expert opinion, or even bring them to guest experts if that's relevant.
We're bringing in a guest expert to discuss that topic.
Exactly. Sure. So yeah, it's just a fun, playful way to really get engagement with an audience that's growing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last part about it is a speakeasy element, because again, mimosas, BYOB, speakeasy. And I want to give credit that this element actually came from Ronnie's side in her business. She's always had a vision of creating a speakeasy kind of community vibe for her company, and it really fit into the Mimosa Hotline. So I want it to know and be noted that it came from her side of the business, but fit perfectly into this.
Yeah.
And within that, our plan. So we're just not average. We don't just do podcasts. Like, we don't just do what everybody else does. We do it our way and our fun way. And we realized that we wanted to build this out, that it's more than something that you just listen to. Like, yes, people get a ton out of podcasts they listen to, they follow with loyalty and commitment and like passion and pride, like team spirit. But we also realized some of the topics that are brought up or the things that we say, there's opportunity to go deeper on. And so in this speakeasy, it will be a membership based format. We are still working it out, but I can tell you right now, it is stupid affordable, like stupid. And I say that not as the 30K offer girl, but as the, like, we're in the under $100 range value of this thing, and way under that. Like, think of a fourth of that, but I didn't say that yet, and I'm not committed to it legally, unlegally, on recording or not. Anywho, and in this, we want to take topics that, like, oh, we mentioned that but couldn't go deeper in, and do private trainings for you. We want to build a community where you have the opportunity to engage with one another and group think, support, throw out questions. Again, a little bit more privacy in the group that we'll be able to do. We're also going to move the show notes over there. We've been putting them out for everybody now, but it's just an easier way on the admin side to organize that. And then there's going to be more, which I'm not even telling you about. We're just giving you the ultimate tease because I'm a tease and I like it. And the biggest thing is holding space. This weekend, Ronnie and I were talking on our Sunday calls, and one of the things is, we want to share our opinions. We want to have opinions. We want to be thought leaders that stand for something. And in doing so, I know I have kind of a tick that you guys might catch on. I'll say things like, well, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say this, but you know, whatever. And like, it's a thing. And it's a thing, but I'm going to work on that and get over that. Because we have the intention, and Ronnie, I want you to speak to this too, but like, it is seriously our intention that we live in a world where we are allowed our own freedom of speech, thought, opinion, and discussion of topics. And sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, sometimes we hold space for things that are outside of what we've been exposed to or know, but we want to know we want you to know when we speak, we never have the intention of converting you to our way of thought, of disrespecting another viewpoint, or attacking it or anything. Like, we genuinely are both humans, fully capable, and I would say uniquely capable of holding space, like witnessing one another, ourselves, others, just witnessing sometimes, you know, like Ronnie likes when I say, like, I see you, like, it's not trying to be Avatar. I swear I said this before Avatar, but it's like, just sometimes someone says something, does something, and it's just like, I saw that, like, I witnessed that, like, I see you. You don't need to say something, you don't need to do anything. It's just a moment of like human right?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, to that point, I think that, you know, one thing we talked about even last Sunday was that we are both very curious people. And that makes us both very open to listening to people, because our brains want to understand how the world works. And so I think that's what we bring to the table about having opinions about things. Yes, we have opinions about things, but we are very open to being curious and listening to other people's point of views, because you never know, we might not have thought of that, or you might not have thought of ours. Like, that's the point of starting conversations around hot topics like that, is getting, you know, interesting opinions and being curious about the world and how it works.
Yeah. And there are some things that are fast, hard, but I would say that most of our viewpoints are very Build-A-Bear, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I think with integrity, flexible. that, we may have thought this way for the last so many years, but new information comes in and it makes us genuinely pause and take a moment to be like, okay, is this in alignment? Is this not in alignment? Does that feel better? Does that not feel better? Is this an opportunity to refine my viewpoint and do something different about it? Or is it an opportunity to be like, reinforce what I already was thinking? And we have that a lot. I'd say every Sunday where we're like, everything you've ever believed in is up for grabs. Like, still good. Yep. Still good. Oh, that line item's got to go. Okay. Okay. Like,
well, I mean, it's really that kind of philosophy of where like you're growing and changing all the time. Like you learn and grow. And like, that's our point. Like, what's the point of anything if we're not learning and growing from our conversations or from other conversations? And I think the real point of all of even saying all of this is for us to say, for anybody that is a part of our world, wants to interact with us, wants to be friends with us, like we are a safe space.
Yes.
Like we
actually
always, we are a safe space. We want to have a safe space, hence we give it.
Yes.
So, I just want people to feel very comfortable that, while yes, we might have opinions, we're open to listening to theirs, and like you can bring it to the table,
And I'm getting goosebumps, like hard ones to say this too. There is a zero tolerance policy of anything outside of that, and I will be the referee and catch it. Happy to pull people to the side and have private conversations if anything ever were to come up or is out of integrity for the rest of the group. But safe spaces do exist is what I want to say. Some people it may be a new topic for you. It may be something new that you haven't experienced yet. And so it will be that. And with like the wrath of me will be protecting that. So
yeah, that's a safe space, and we still respect each other.
100%.
Like I think that's the other side of it. If you disrespect somebody now, we will mama bear you.
Oh, mama bear, honey, I will bite your head off. Like, no, I have no space for that. Or I'll ghost you like nobody's business. In one of two options. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sort of the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. I am very fast to the line of defense. We all laugh about my loyalty. I'm very fast to the line of defense, but once I'm there, there's either wrath or ghosting. Like you get one of it's very extreme. I will put it that way. But yeah. Okay. So anything else that we want to share, just intention wise, what we're headed up to? Also just opportunity, anybody listening, let us know your thoughts. What do you think? Would you want to like, we will soon be, this is about I don't think I'm crazy, but 6-month thing that's going to be unfolding. There's about 6 months where we got to get into things, 3rd, 4th month where we're going to amp up things. So that's what we're going to ask you, like, come, subscribe, join, be a part of it, get your friends, tell your friends. So we're just trying to, this is like the insider stuff. This is the fun stuff. Like, hey.
Yeah, well, and that actually brings up a good question that I'm going to bring to like the audience, being the marketing research person that I am.
Get them.
I like the one thing I would like to know, but that would help both of us, is like, how do people want the format? I know we go live on Facebook, but do they like it that they can subscribe to things so that they can get a notification each week? Like, how do people like to consume that kind of content? Like what are the platforms?
You're busy, but like, maybe you're like, I love it when I get a text that there's a new episode. I love it when you email me that there's a new episode. Right. I love that I'm on a platform that I check in every week. Like, how can we get this to you in the best way possible?
And I think that the live element will not go away. Like we both really enjoy that, and we'll always do this live, but then the recording then can go into distribution channel of things, for lack of a better term, being the marketer.
We're helping everybody. Like there's going to be video, there's going to be audio, there's going to be show notes, there's going to be meetups. Like there's a lot of ways that you can consume this, because I know I'm a visual learner. Like, I don't think I feel really bad saying this. I think I've only listened ever to like one podcast, and it feels so weird that we're like about to go down this rabbit hole when I'm like not even a podcast person-y. But if it were like a video channel, it just, that's how I learn. That's how I absorb things visually. So we're being mindful of auditory, visual, like all the ways. But yeah. That's great.
Yeah, well, and it's just so funny that like this is coming up for us and divine timing of things, because I am a podcast listener. I not only listen to podcasts, I do a lot of interviews on podcasts. I love podcasts. And from the marketing side of things, it is proven in research that podcast listeners are very loyal. And while you might see a video on social media and you might catch your attention for the first 10 seconds, podcast listeners will listen to it from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different kind of experience for people. But I get a marketing like newsletter every afternoon, and one last week I got, and one this week I got, both talked about advertising and podcast and how the revenue generation of advertising in podcast is going to like go up by 20% next year. Like they'll like a lot of marketing agencies and brands are starting to reduce, say, like their content influencer budget or TV budget and putting it into podcast advertising.
Yeah. It's a growing methodology for sure.
It's definitely a medium to be in.
Yeah. I love that. All right.
So,
well, live or on the replay.
I was going to say that's the universe telling us something, right?
I'll take that. I want the validation. I like that. So yes, we were headed in the right direction. And it's also, I really hope people see the organic passion of it, that this wasn't like somebody that, oh, today I think I'm going to start a podcast. Like we have been talking and then wanting to expose that conversation and like share it with others. And it just fills us up. We both really enjoy this. Like it's creepy, everybody. It's creepy. Like we really like this. So we hope you do too. We hope you'll follow along. And we hope that, it's a two-way conversation, that the more you give us feedback, the more you share with us, the more we can make this like your dream podcast show, hotline, speakeasy. Jesus Christ, we'll get there, whatever.
Yeah, well, and these are just ideas we're floating around. We have a lot of going on.
Oh my God.
Who knows what's going to happen in 3 months? Yeah. Like
we're not legally, unlegally, whatever the term, what's the like disclaimer? We are not like legally bound by what is stated in this episode, yada, yada, yada. I don't know.
I cannot confirm or deny that any of this is true.
There you go. Okay. Enough said. Good. Okay. So do we want to merge to the topic that you wanted to chat about? I
mean, it's sort of a good segue of like saying this is a safe space, because this can be a kind of a hot topic.
Yeah.
I think, or get into a hot topic of.
Yeah. So we invoke safe space. Do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, like we're going to look at the facts, right? So TikTok is a brand new social media medium. It's not brand new. It's been around for a couple of years, but it's hot, man. And you've even experienced this with some people that are like, you got to do TikTok. And both of us have been kind of like,
no.
I can't get into it.
I was the only one that never got me. Like I definitely get sparkle syndrome. We all know this about me, but that one, when it came out, zero, and Snapchat, those two I have zero interest in. And respectfully to anyone that has a solid TikTok presence, anything out there, like good for you. You do you. Like that's the best thing. Like you do you. But for me, no.
Well, and I think it's one of these things that we're starting to see a lot of research and like statistically brands coming out of TikTok and having a lot of business success. There are some real legitimate business and brand case studies of how TikTok works. And because we're both business people, that's important to us. I think the thing for me is I'm not into it because I just don't need another vice. I'm sorry. Like I will
be clear. Both of us may recommend that as a platform for 100% a client if it were aligned with them.
And their customer. Yeah. And that's where their customer is. 100% recommend that in a marketing strategy, if that makes sense. My personal standpoint is I already spend 2 hours a day on Instagram. I don't need another platform to do that on. I'm already short on time. So that's my personal stance. But I think the thing that is becoming very interesting about this topic is it's becoming a business case study for sure for a lot of brands, but it's also becoming a political hot topic because just recently there was an article about 2 weeks ago, and it's going into effect, that TikTok is being banned from all government devices. So it's starting with government employees and anybody that works for the government or is involved with government can, if they have a government issued device like a cell phone or an iPad or a laptop or a computer, TikTok is banned from it. You cannot have it at all, period. And the claim is that because TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, their head company is a Chinese company, that it's a security issue. So I see your
Let me
face
ask
like
a
turning the
clarifying
wheels on
question.
this.
Is it banning the people using it or the device having it?
The device having it. So if you have
Okay.
a personal device, you can have it there, but you cannot have it on a government issued
Okay. So
device.
I kind of get that. Like in the past, like I've been in a few industries, like when I was in finance, our business laptops couldn't have like social media, like apps, for
Mhm.
productivity. They didn't want us dinking around.
Right.
2, because of what the laptop had, it would allow hacking through the back door and whatever around. So I kind of understand that. The part that's
Yes.
perking my is the Chinese based element of,
Right. How is that different than letting Instagram or Facebook or Twitter
yeah, like that
on
seems
your
like a race
devices?
issue, also like racism issue, discrimination issue.
I mean,
issue, like
I think it's a political issue more than anything. Which, you know, at that point, I'm like, well, if you're going to ban that in that category, then you need to ban them all, whether
Right.
they're a U.S. company or not. Like,
Absolutely.
if
Yeah.
your issue is specifically about security, then you
Yeah.
need to have that issue with all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I was
Absolutely.
assuming that they already had those, but you're saying they're just picking on it. TikTok. Oh,
TikTok.
interesting.
At the-
Okay. Okay.
At the moment, that's how it appears.
Okay.
And I think that the bigger topic around this
Mhm.
is one of restriction and liberty of freedom, right?
Mm.
Like, we're already going down a rabbit hole last year of overturning Roe versus Wade. That takes away freedoms from women to make choices. And now you're also, while it's still only in the government and there is a business case for this, right? I'm seeing a pattern here. Like, this is not okay.
No.
Because if you start going down that road, what is it that a year from now they can't say you two can't do a podcast because you said something on that and we're gonna take it down, where is there a drawing line of our freedoms that you're hiding behind a security issue?
I think what really bothers me with the Roe versus Wade and any related topic is that I don't care what you choose, but I do care when you start restricting the choices available. I hope I'm saying that okay. Now, let me be real specific. Feel like we need to invoke a prayer or blessing of some sorts here, but I don't care if you're pro-life or pro-choice. I don't care, but I do care that both options are available on the table for you to choose what's right for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a judgment. Like, I don't. I do care when it's supposed to be a multiple choice test and there's only one choice. How, what? Right. That's where my issue comes in. And so I do genuinely respect those people that choose to have abortions and those that choose not to.
100%. It's a personal choice.
I care about people who cut their hair and don't cut their hair equally. Like, this is not a thing. I do. Another deeper can of worms, let's throw in this, is when we bring church and state together. Mm-hmm. That is another thing that I think really affected this was people didn't make this decision because it was their personal choice. They were leaning on their religion to dictate it.
Mhm.
It's a government, not a church. What are we doing?
I mean, isn't that what the country was founded on?
I hope so.
Separation of
yeah.
separation of state and church. I mean, like,
yeah, like there's a thing here. And
that's how we started.
the reason you go to that church and the reason I don't are choice. Like I still value it. Like I live across from a beautiful mosque. I'm not personally Jewish, but I love seeing everybody congregate or, feel like they're getting their spiritual fix, and knowing that I live next to such a sacred space kind of feels nice to me, just in its own essence. Like, not because that's not my religion or faith or what I believe, but just there has to be some type of power to that, no matter what it is. Like, right. And then again, Ronnie, we had this conversation over the weekend. I appreciated this about you. You were like, I don't know much about religions, of various religions, different things. Yeah. And I have a minor in non-Western art history, and I've studied world religion throughout everything, cultures, everything. And I have a generalized knowledge of many, and across the spectrum of what I would call mainstream and spiritual. So anything from Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism to Mormon to Muslim, all the way into what I would consider more of the woo ones of Wiccan, pagan, yogi, Baha'i, God, what else? What am I trying? I wish we had set up my bookcase so I could read the damn books and cheat right now, but you get the idea. I wish more people could hold space and just honor one another and keep choice alive. I feel like that's the biggest thing here. It's like when we take choice out of it, that's when I start having issue with anybody feeling anything, thinking anything in any which direction.
Right.
Like, let's just keep choice in there. Okay, go. Like, if everyone starts making me eat a certain thing, I'm gonna
That would be my luck. Like, the only food we'd ever have is bananas.
Yeah, like it's gonna be like they take out all the fruit options and now you only get bananas, and that's like you're either allergic or you hate it. And it's like,
I hate it.
People, like,
that would be my luck.
Yeah, this is like, don't screw with our politics and don't screw with our produce. Like, just like, and more people need to vote. More people need to have stances. People need to have opinions. I would love to see a voting ballot that has A through Z options, because you know what, you do you. And I want your option to be on there no matter what it is. But the second we start getting, what was it? A, B, C, D, or E was other. Isn't that Scantron status, I think? But the second we start just applying option A, and that's the only option, then like, I'm going to draw my own in. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, anyway. That's what the write-in is for.
Oh, good point. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But yeah. But to, bring the topic back around, like my stance, even with this whole TikTok thing, is, okay, yes, they are a Chinese company. And two, like, if this is really a security issue, you need to ban it for all of the platforms, like, Instagram,
and you need to approach
Facebook.
It in a different way. Like,
right. Well, and I guess too, like, all right, if we're really going to follow a pattern here, if you say, okay, well, I am taking away your choice of freedom, choice, interchange the word, of this thing here, like, how is that different than China being a communist country? Like, isn't that what they do as a communist country? And then you're kind of doing it to us, in hiding behind, we're trying to not be communist. I don't know. It just seems weird to me and contradictory. But, and I get it. It's, if you work for the government and they're concerned about it, whatever, like, government can do what they want if you work for them. But
yeah, I mean,
where do you draw? When do they not do it for everybody?
Yeah.
I think there might be, don't quote me on this, but there might be a case getting ready to go to the Supreme Court around this too, which then makes it sort of a law of the land.
Yeah. Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the
Because even if you don't want to look at it, every country is a business.
Mhm.
And there are business practices where sometimes things are just business. Like I understand not having social media on computer-based businesses, like,
Right.
sorry, did I say that right? Computers. I don't know. Something else came out, but whatever.
It's all right. I knew what you
I
meant.
get that. Like to me,
Yeah.
and as many people know, with my level of trust and my security in my own company, there are definitely things I do, but at a cultural level and symbolic level, I think we're a little like, I don't know what the word, it's not balanced, but it's just you're a little off. Like,
Yeah.
rotation is slightly tweaked.
Yeah.
Like,
And then once it starts going one way, like how do you, the momentum there is there, right? Like that's, I think the point is like the momentum of that slightly off now makes it start to steamroll a little bit.
Yeah.
That makes it scary.
It change is scary. I totally know that.
I mean, and that's my word of the year is change. So like,
there it is.
It's scary.
It, ladies and gentlemen, change. It's gonna be a good one for you.
Okay.
Sure. I think making this relatable, and why are we bringing this up to you, is because let's translate this into business. We are talking, there are levels of what is your platform? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What do you have a voice about? What can people associate you with? Are you a freedom fighter? Are you a chained up, no way, don't do it thing? In your business, what are your beliefs? What are your choices? What are your values? What are your code of conduct? Where is your baseline to make decisions from?
Yeah.
Some lead faith-based businesses. Great for you. Yeah. Some people don't. Good for you. Some people lead profanity. I want to make that one a profanity-based business. Good on you. Like there is no judgment to this, but make sure your choices are on your life ballot and see what you need to see is there. I think I leave that with kind of the closing remarks of things, you know?
Well, I know what I was going to say. I'm going to bring this completely full circle now back to the beginning of this show is you talking about your branding studio. And I've been through some of your exercises, and looking at values and code of conduct and your vision and your mission is part of what you do with your clients. Like that's part of the brand you create. And right. So like, I mean, that's kind of brings that full circle now back to the beginning of this conversation. Because
this is not a paid plug, by the way.
No, it's not. But I mean, like think about it. It is kind of full circle, but that is kind of how you work with your clients.
Think this brand strategy is marketing. Let me be very clear. Brand strategy is establishing the values, vision, and mission of your company, because that is the true north. That
the backbone.
Deciding that is what you're able to calibrate everything to and in relationship to. Without those, you're a ship it without direction, or on a trip with no destination, like however you want to, whatever analogy you want to slap on that. But thank you for that plug. I so genuinely appreciate it and didn't even make the connection myself, but yeah. And a huge giveaway here. Here's free advice on this. How do you get started with this? And it's not call me, but you could also do that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay. So values. I want to give full credit to eWomen Network. Not all of their values, but in the way that they structure it. I like their values. I didn't mean it like that, but you know what I mean.
Right.
They start with, I am committed to ... And then have these list of values that pretty much start from like a term that they've self-defined. So that's how you start this. I am committed to, and there's a way to distill this out of yourself. Sometimes you do need outside perspective to get to these elements because you didn't make the connections, like Ronnie just made the connection for me of this. But start with I am committed to, and I would say try and keep it up to 10 or under 10, no more than 10 values. Then you're just a mess.
Right. You got to stand for something.
Are two different things, people. Your vision is where you're trying to go, what your philosophy is, the big picture behind the business, and the mission is how you plan to accomplish that. Now, with every brand that I build, we have a 70-30 rule. 70% of the brand, that identity, the look, the feel, the vibe, the essence, the DNA is based on the big picture vision, the philosophy of how they approach business, their calling, their big purpose. And 30% is if they're doing it through a coffee shop, a law firm, photography business, or whatever it may be. That 30% will change throughout your evolution in business. So make sure it's 30% is that mission, but values, vision, mission. And notice I did not say mission, vision, values. There is an order to this. Your values dictate your vision and mission. So in every article that you read and you see mission, vision, values, I want you to remember, Ashley said that's backwards. It is backwards. Values, vision, mission. Ta-da.
I mean, it makes more sense.
There it is.
It makes more sense.
Yeah, it's absolutely vital for that. So
yeah.
So this
anyway,
is going to be a first. We never under an hour, but I want to remind us that I do have a hard stop today. I am in back to back of my week.
and this is something that, we talked about, like where the show is kind of going with things. And this is something we do need to be a lot better about.
Yeah. And if everyone could notice and give us thanks and gratitudes in the comments, because this was under an hour, we had a specific topic and we had a show framework. Oh yeah, we did.
Look at us.
That was something we wanted to start doing more of. So I love this conversation. I'm so excited to be co-hosting this with you. I'm excited for the future of the show. I feel really good because today I feel like was one of the first times we took potent stance on our beliefs, which is something I want more of in my life. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I hope that everyone got a good introduction to us once again. We'll probably do that every quarter. We need to remind you who the hell we are because you like us, but do you know what we do? Because I will be damned if another friend of mine comes up to me and is like, I didn't know you could do that. Get a little feisty.
I mean, it's like Alan, he always tells people, he's like, I don't know, she does something with Super Bowl commercials. I'm like,
no. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a full-blown brand strategist, marketing extraordinaire, and a full-blown brand strategist, designer, creative director at your disposal every week on Thursdays.
Use us.
I know, that's what I was going to say. Use us. But then I was like.
It sort of sounded bad, but let's go with it.
All right. Well, everybody, we will see you again next Thursday, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, noon on next
Eastern.
one. What is that? Thank you. So good. Oh, well. And we're out. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.